Thank you very much. I promise you I won't preach, but I do have a few prepared comments that I like to work with, and it's better if I'm on my feet. So first of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You have been a patient and attentive audience, and I trust you will be as open-minded as you listen to the rest of the proceedings. So the mandate of the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency is to investigate organized criminal networks, grand corruption, significant cyber crimes, and various financial crimes. Virtually all the matters that MOCA investigates has a profit motive and ultimately involves the laundering of illicit proceeds. So in pursuance of our investigative mandates, the Proceeds of Crime Act has been and continues to be a critical tool in the MOCA's toolbox. We have leveraged partnerships in enhancing the use of POCA, and FID remains probably our most significant partner. We pretty much partner very, very heavily with FID. I would say that all of our significant cases are either investigated jointly or with significant support from the agency, FID. And it's a reciprocal arrangement. We are involved in pretty much every one of FID's significant cases. As an example, there's a matter that was spoken about earlier, which has led to the civil, criminal, well, have both civil and criminal aspects. We are leading on the criminal, FID on the civil, and that has already led to the seizure, forfeiture of significant properties. The criminal matter continues, and in fact has been argued all the way up to the Privy Council, where the ruling was in favor of the Crown. So we are, it has set significant precedents as to how matters, to include POCA matters, can be investigated and prosecuted going forward. And so we're happy that that decision to go all the way and fight this all the way was taken, and it has really established precedents that works in the favor of all the law enforcement agencies who have a dog in the fight. Another case that essentially underscored our very significant working relationship was the Manchester Parish Council matter, which was touched on earlier, I think, in a presentation by Darian Keith, and also I believe will be the subject of a more detailed case study by the Office of the DPP tomorrow. Those two matters have essentially created a template for how we can conduct these kinds of investigations going forward. So a lot of learning took place, and it is to the benefit of the national interests of Jamaica. We also work very closely with other organizations in the conduct of our business. The Office of the DPP was mentioned earlier. Tax Administration Jamaica is a major partner. The JCF, of course. We partner with Integrity Commission, the Jamaica Customs Agency, and of course the RPD. I should make the point that we sometimes have investigations that don't just involve two partners, but multiple partners. And there is a particular case, fairly significant case, that involves FID ourselves and RPD, which is a focus of intense scrutiny and investigations now. So in formalizing these partnerships, we have also embarked on a few MOUs. We do have an MOU with the RPD. We have one with the tax administration. I was just informed last night that the RPD's MOU is up for renewal. So that is something that's early on the agenda in the coming week. We have one with FID, which was recently formalized. We have been working with FID from Mr. Hay was at MOCA, working with FID. We have one also with the Integrity Commission, which is also relatively recent. We are pursuing MOUs with other entities, including JCA, the JCF, because initially we were a part of the JCF, which precluded us having any kind of the need for an MOU. But now that we are fully independent, we are in the process of formalizing how we interact and share and collaborate on investigations. Of course, POCA and other law enforcement supporting entities are also the focus of MOUs. Point to note though, the absence of MOUs in some instances has not stopped us from collaborating and working together on critical and important matters. We're also, as was pointed out, involved in the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, particularly when the National Risk Assessment process was being undertaken. We were at the table. We were assisting with data collection and the likes. So we are very, very involved in things to do with financial crimes generally, and specifically on how we apply and improve our capacity with POCA. With regards to training, and this is an initiative, by the way, which I'm a military guy. When I came to MOCA in 2014 to join Mr. Hay, one of his underlying principles was that given that pretty much everything we will be looking at will have a financial motive, he implemented then at MOCA a policy that every one of our investigators must be trained in the skill and art of financial investigations. So we formalized that process initially with the assistance of the JCF training arrangements, but we have jumped at every opportunity to get training from external entities, partner agencies from overseas, and so on. And ultimately, we were at the table when the FITAP course was developed, and we have benefited. I believe we have nine persons now trained and are being mentored on an ongoing basis by FID in the pursuance of financial investigations, and they're all employed in the conduct of such investigations. At MOCA, we are building out a more robust financial investigations team because, like customs, we too are empowered under the POCA to investigate and do everything not dissimilar to what financial investigators at FID does. So we are building that capacity at the agency at the moment. MOCA also brings some other specialized competencies and capacities to the fight. We have a very well-established cyber forensic team. So we can do cyber forensics, and in fact we have competencies in looking at investigating cyber, not just cyber-enabled crime, but also cyber-dependent crimes, your ransomware attacks, denial of service attacks, and the likes. So we have developed that capacity over time at the agency. We collaborate very effectively with foreign agencies in enhancing that capacity and collaborating on particular investigations. Of course, these being, for the most part, attacks that are perpetrated outside of our space, our geographic space. But on the point of cyber-enabled crime, I believe we all are aware that certainly with the onset of the pandemic, with everybody online, there was just a spike in these in cases, reported cases of these types of offenses. And we have seen an exponential growth in cyber-enabled crime. And virtually, as everybody now has a cyber connective device, criminal organizations are now moving their operations into cyberspace. And therefore, there's a lot of evidence there which we need to exploit. And that is what we bring to the table, and that is how we are assisting and participating in significant local investigations for the most part. So we provide that capacity and we collaborate significantly with MOCA in that regard. We also bring to the table significant capacity to do analysis, both intelligence analysis, and this is just looking at raw data and synthesizing out of that usable information and intelligence that provides leads for further investigations and so on. So we are at the table doing that with these various investigations, and we also assist with what we call CAD analysis. This is another of an initiative started when Mr. Hay was with us, where we actually have crime analysts who are attached to significant cases to help to build those cases by doing the analytical work around evidentiary material, oftentimes vast quantities of evidentiary material. So these are some of the tools we have in our toolbox, which we use to assist in the pursuance of these various forms of investigation. So I leave it there for now, and certainly open for any additional questions or further questions.